Friends, welcome to my live teaching learning session of BECC 134 Principles of Macroeconomics 2. You know that we have discussed in this Principles of Macroeconomics paper, we have discussed so many units and blocks like first block was based on ISLM theory. ISLM theory means investment, saving, or goods market equilibrium and money market equilibrium. How goods market and money market equilibrium helps to determine the rate of interest and the level of income. And in next unit, we have discussed balance of payment and foreign exchange rate. In another unit, we have discussed inflation, various types of inflation, and what is the relationship between inflation and Phillips curve. And in last session, we have discussed about aggregate demand and aggregate supply, GDP and price level in short run and in long run. In today's session, we will discuss the remaining part of the aggregate demand and aggregate supply and how aggregate demand and aggregate supply helps to determine equilibrium level of income. Where national income is determined, we will discuss about approaches of the determination of national income and how this aggregate demand or equilibrium level of income can shift due to shift in aggregate demand or due to shift in aggregate supply. So in today's session, we will discuss about aggregate demand and aggregate supply curve analysis, and we will discuss about the change in equilibrium level of income due to change in fiscal policy and monetary policy. So let us start from first topic, like what is aggregate demand. In brief, I will explain all the topics of determination of national income which we have discussed in last session. You know that aggregate demand is the sum total of goods and or sum total of all the goods and services which are demanded by whole country people. And aggregate demand is inversely related with price level. As well as price rises, demand falls, and price falls, demand rises. That's why demand curve is always downward sloping curve, and supply curve is always upward sloping curve because aggregate supply shows positive and direct relationship between price and supply. And aggregate supply is the sum total of all the goods and services which are produced by the producer in an economy. So where both intersect each other, macroeconomic equilibrium or equilibrium price and level of income can be determined. Here, aggregate demand is downward sloping curve and aggregate supply is upward sloping curve. Where both curve intersect each other, equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity or real GDP is determined with the help of this AD and AS. You know that aggregate demand is the total demand of goods and services demanded by whole country people. And in macroeconomics, which you are studying, in this macroeconomics, J.M. Keynes gave very important contribution, very great contribution. Keynesian economics is a school of economic thought that provides insight into the economy when it operates away from full employment. Next is aggregate demand. You know that aggregate demand curve is always downward sloping curve, and aggregate demand is the total demand for goods and services in the economy. And aggregate demand curve shows negative relationship between price and quantity demanded, or inverse relationship between aggregate output or aggregate income and the price level. When price is P2, income is less or Y2. As well as price falls, income will rise. It means this curve slope always downward from left to right. So this is aggregate demand curve. And aggregate supply curve is always upward sloping curve. Generally, its curve is always upward sloping curve because it shows positive relationship between price and quantity supplied. But in some situations, like in short run or in long run, its nature of this supply curve may be changed. According to JM Gaines, in short run, aggregate supply curve remains always horizontal or parallel to the x-axis, but according to classical economics, aggregate supply curve in long run remains always vertical parallel to the y-axis. This horizontal shape of SRAS curve is according to Keynes, and vertical LRAS curve which shows long run aggregate supply curve according to classical thinkers or classical economists. So generally aggregate supply curve shows positive or direct relationship between price and supply. When price rises, price falls, supply falls. And if there is any shift in aggregate supply, that is called supply shocks or shift in supply. If there is any shift in aggregate demand, then it will be called demand shocks. So aggregate supply can be changed either to the right hand side or left hand side. Same as aggregate demand can also shift either to the right hand side or left hand side. If there is a shift in aggregate demand, it will be called demand shocks. And if there is a shift in aggregate supply, it will be called supply shocks. In this diagram, here aggregate demand is downward sloping curve and aggregate supply is upward sloping curve, where both curve intersect each other. Equilibrium point is determined. At this equilibrium point, price is determined and the real GDP is also determined on x-axis. And if supply curve shifts to the left hand side, it means there is a decrease in aggregate supply. Then, if supply falls, then new equilibrium point will shift from E to E1 and equilibrium price will rise from P to P1 and real GDP or income level will fall from Y to Y1. So this is the impact of a shift in aggregate supply curve, and this shift is leftward shift. If supply curve shifts leftward, then price will rise, income will fall, and vice versa. If supply curve shifts right hand side, then price will fall and income will rise. Next is aggregate demand and aggregate supply, both curve where both curve intersect each other, equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity can be determined. So this is the macroeconomic equilibrium. Next is aggregate demand and aggregate supply. This SRAS curve is short run aggregate supply curve, and AD is aggregate demand curve. And where both curve intersect each other, we can determine the equilibrium price and the equilibrium level of output. Now here is derivation of aggregate demand curve with the help of IS and LM curve analysis. You know that IS curve, IS is investment. I means investment, S means saving. IS curve shows goods market equilibrium. IS shows negative relationship between rate of interest and the level of income. LM shows L represent liquidity preference or money demand, and M represent money supply. So LM shows money market equilibrium. LM curve is always upward sloping curve. It shows positive relationship between rate of interest and the level of income, where both curve intersect each other, like IS, which is always downward slope, and LM, which is generally upward sloping curve, where both curve intersect each other, equilibrium rate of interest is determined and the level of income is also determined. If LM shifts left hand side, then rate of interest will rise, income will fall. If LM shifts right hand side, why LM shifts? Due to increase in money supply or decrease in money supply, because LM shows money market equilibrium. So all the monetary transactions and money supply is controlled by Reserve Bank of India. And you know that Reserve Bank of India is the apex institution of monetary authority. When money supply increases by Reserve Bank of India, then LM curve will shift to the right hand side. And at this situation, rate of interest will fall and the level of income will rise. And if RBI follows contractionary monetary policy and decrease the supply of money, then LM curve shifts to the left hand side. In this situation, rate of interest will rise and the level of income will fall. And if we want to derive aggregate demand curve, then we can take these three equilibrium points in on another curve, and then like this, these three equilibrium points like 1, 2, 3, and if we join these three equilibrium level of income in on another curve, then we will get this. And if we take price level on y-axis and income level on x-axis, then we can show the inverse relationship between price and income level. At high price, income will be low. At lower price, quantity demanded or income will be fall. And at further lower price, income level as well as price falls, income level will rise. And if price rises, income level will fall. So there is a inverse relationship between price and level of income. That's why aggregate demand curve always slopes downward from left to right. So this is the derivation of AD curve with the help of IS and LM curve analysis. Next is, this is the long run aggregate supply curve, which remains always vertical, and short run aggregate supply curve, which remains always horizontal according to Keynesian approach. And generally, you know that supply curve is always upward sloping curve. So SRAS may be horizontal or may be upward sloping curve. If we are talking about Keynesian approach, and according to Keynesian approach, in short run, prices are more sticky in nature, price remains constant. That's why supply will remain always, the supply curve will remain always horizontal. In this case, price remains constant, quantity of output can change or level of income can be changed, but price will not change in short run. But according to classical approach, in long run, prices are more flexible in nature, so prices can change, but due to achievement of full employment, income level, output level, and employment level will not change. That's why LRAS curve is always vertical curve, which is parallel to the y-axis, which shows that we have achieved full employment level, and at this full employment level nothing can increase, employment can't increase, income can't increase, and level of output can't increase. Only due to increase in demand, only price will rise, nothing will rise. That's why LRAS is always vertical curve. Here, three diagrams we have drawn. Like one is aggregate demand curve. That is, aggregate demand is downward sloping curve. SRAS curve is upward sloping curve, and LRAS curve is vertical curve, where both curve intersect each other. Equilibrium, price, and level of output can be determined. So short run supply curve shows the relationship between output supplied and inflation. Next is LRAS curve. LRAS curve is vertical. SRAS curve is upward sloping curve. Aggregate demand is downward sloping curve. If there is any change in aggregate demand curve, then demand curve will shift to the right hand side, and due to shift in right hand side, price will rise. If demand rises, price will rise. If demand falls, price will fall. So aggregate demand curve can shift either to the right hand side or left hand side. Why this aggregate demand curve shifts? It has so many reasons. You know that if price remains constant and other factors are more effective, like if income of the consumer rises, then demand curve will shift to the right hand side. If size of population increases, then demand will rise and curve will shift to the right hand side. If government follows expansionary fiscal policy, first of all, you must have to understand what is fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is that policy which is made by government. And the main tools or instrument of fiscal policy are: number one is public revenue, number two is public expenditure, number three is public debt, and number four is budget. You know that public revenue, government collect revenues through public by taxation. Government impose taxes, different types of taxes like direct tax and indirect tax. Direct taxes are those taxes which can't be shiftable, and the burden of direct taxes falls on same person who are paying that tax. And the indirect taxes are those taxes in which first burden of tax falls on producer and the last burden falls on consumers who buy goods and services. Indirect taxes burden can be shiftable, but direct taxes burden like income tax, gift tax, wealth tax, property tax, house tax, its burden can't be shiftable. So government collect a revenue through taxation, and government spend money for development works and for non-development works. Government, you know that government has to do some welfare activities. Government has to spend some money on a welfare activities for the whole society's welfare and to improve the standard of living of the country people. So if government spend more money and government revenue is less but spending is more, then it will be called expansionary fiscal policy. Expansionary fiscal policy is that policy in which government expenditures are more but revenue is less. And we know that one person expenditure is another person income. If government spend more money, then public income will generate. When public income will generate, their purchasing power will rise, their demand will rise, and demand curve will shift to the right hand side. On the other hand, if government follow contractionary fiscal policy, in this case, government will impose more taxes, government will collect more revenues, but spend less on welfare activities. In this situation, government expenditure will fall, and due to fall in government expenditure, public income will fall, and their purchasing power will also fall. In this situation, aggregate demand curve will shift to the left hand side. So aggregate demand curve can be shift either to the right hand side or left hand side, depends upon fiscal policy which is made by government, and it may be expansionary, it may be contractionary. If this policy is expansionary, then AD will shift to the right hand side. And if this policy is contractionary, then this aggregate demand curve will shift to the left hand side. And monetary policy can also shift aggregate demand curve. Monetary policy is that policy which is made by Reserve Bank of India, and Reserve Bank of India can increase money supply and can also decrease money supply, because whole money supply is controlled by Reserve Bank of India, and RBI is the apex institution of monetary authority. And all the commercial banks, scheduled banks, non-scheduled banks, and private banks, foreign banks, all the banks work under the guidelines of Reserve Bank of India. So Reserve Bank If increases money supply, then circulation of money will rise. And due to rise in circulation of money, public purchasing power will also rise. When people have more money, then their demand will also rise. And due to rise in demand, curve will shift to the right hand side. And if RBI follows contractionary monetary policy, if RBI cut credit creation or increase the CRR, cash reserve ratio, or bank rate and SLR. If RBI follows contractionary monetary policy, then money supply will decrease, and due to decrease in money supply, purchasing power of the country people will also decrease because they have less money to buy. In this case, AD curve will shift to the left hand side. So we know that general causes or general factors of shift in demand are like income of the consumer, price of related goods, taste and preferences, future expectation, size of population, and climate and income distribution, and uh, some other factors are also, but monetary policy and fiscal policy, these two policies mainly affects aggregate demand and aggregate supply. So aggregate demand can shift right hand side or left hand side due to change in fiscal policy and due to change in monetary policy. In case of expansionary fiscal policy and expansionary monetary policy, AD curve will shift to the right hand side. And if government follows contractionary fiscal policy and RBI also follow contractionary monetary policy, then aggregate demand will fall and curve will shift to the left hand side. So these are the main causes of shift in aggregate demand, which is called aggregate demand shocks. And in this diagram, here LRAS curve is vertical, aggregate supply is upward sloping curve. First AD curve is this AD. Here, this is the first equilibrium point. AD curve shifts to the right hand side, then new equilibrium point will change. If we take this equilibrium point where AD and SRAS curve intersect each other, then equilibrium price will rise and quantity will also or income will also rise. And if we take the equilibrium of LRAS and AD1, then price will rise again, but aggregate output will remain constant because LRAS is vertical. In this situation, output will not change, income will not change, only price will change. But if we are taking equilibrium through SRAS curve and AD1 curve, then equilibrium price will increase and quantity will also increase. Next is, and aggregate demand curve can shift or aggregate demand may be increase, may be decrease. We have discussed about all these points that aggregate demand may increase due to increase in income of the consumer, due to increase in government expenditures, due to increase in money supply, and the same if we take reverse situation or opposite situation, then aggregate demand may fall also. Next is why aggregate demand might shift. Aggregate demand can be shift due to change in consumption expenditure, investment expenditure, government expenditure, and net export. Here C is consumption and I is investment expenditure, G is government spending, and NX is net export. You know that aggregate demand always shifts due to change in other factors, keeping price constant. And if other things are most effective factors but price will remain same, then AD curve can shift to the right hand side or left hand side. So if there is a change in consumption expenditure, if we are spending more money on consumption of goods and services, then AD will shift to the right hand side. If consumption expenditure falls, AD will shift to the left hand side. If investment expenditure increases, then AD will shift to the right hand side, and vice versa. If government spending increases, like fiscal policy is expansionary, then obviously purchasing power of the country people will rise and AD will shift to the right hand side, and vice versa. And next is net export. If we are exporting more goods, then country's income will rise, more foreign exchange will come in our country, and we can buy more products, then aggregate demand curve will shift to the right hand side. So these are the main causes of aggregate demand shocks or shift in aggregate demand curve. And aggregate demand is the sum total of C plus I plus G plus NX. This is called four sectors economy. In a four sector economy, we can take four components of aggregate demand. Aggregate demand maybe has two components, three components, or four components. Depends upon we are talking about which type of economy. Like if we are talking about only two sector economy, then we will take the two components of aggregate demand like C and I. And if we are talking about the three sector economy, then we will take three components of aggregate demand like C, I, and G. And if we take four sector economy, then C plus I plus G plus NX. These are the components of aggregate demand in a four sector economy. Next is aggregate demand curve. This is the moment. If we are showing these arrows on AD curve, in this case, AD curve can move upward or downward, but curve will not shift to the right hand side or left hand side. So if we show on the same demand curve upward movement and downward movement, that is called movement along the aggregate demand curve. And aggregate demand curve can move due to change in only price level if other things or other factors remaining constant. If we assume that other factors are constant, only price is most effective factor, then due to rise in price, demand will fall and it will show upward movement, that is contraction of aggregate demand. And if we take a lower price, if price falls, then demand will rise and it will be shown by downward movement or downward arrow, which is showing that here is expansion of aggregate demand. If aggregate demand uh, is expansionary, then movement will be downward. And if aggregate demand is contractionary, then movement will be upward. Because upward movement is showing that price is rising. And you know that when price rises, demand falls. And if price falls, demand rises, it will be shown by downward movement, that is called expansion of aggregate demand. So movement along the demand curve in this situation, it occurs due to change in only price, other things remaining constant. If other things will not change, only price will change, then demand curve will remain same. We can show expansion of aggregate demand and contraction of aggregate demand with the help of this arrow or movement. If we are showing upward movement, that will be called contraction of AD, and if we are showing downward movement, it will be show expansion of aggregate demand. Next is aggregate demand curve shifts. Can be shift right hand side or left hand side, but price will remain constant. Only demand curve will shift or income level will rise, but there will be not any change occur in price level. Next is aggregate supply curve can also shift to the right hand side or left hand side. If there is any shift in aggregate supply, that is called supply shocks or aggregate supply shocks or shift in aggregate supply, it can be shift to the right hand side if there is a increase in supply of goods and services. But if there is a decrease in supply of goods and services, then curve will shift to the left hand side. And why aggregate supply curve shifts? It has also so many reasons. Like if there is a lower cost of production, then producer will encourage to produce more because cost of production is less. Then producer can earn more profit and producer can produce more at minimum cost. You know that each and every producer want to gain maximum profit at minimum cost. If cost is minimized, then producer will encourage to produce more goods and services. In this situation, aggregate supply will rise and curve will shift to the right hand side. And if aggregate supply falls, then curve will shift to the left hand side. If there is a huge cost of production exist in an economy, then producer's profit motive will fall and producer will produce less goods and services. In this situation, aggregate supply curve will shift to the left hand side. And if government impose more taxes on producer and provide less subsidies, then producer will discourage and production will fall and curve will shift to the left hand side. And if on the other hand government impose less taxes on producer and provide more subsidies, then producer will encourage to produce more goods and services. In this situation, supply curve will shift to the right hand side. So, supply curve can shift either to the right hand side or left hand side, depends upon so many factors. Like if a profit margin increases, producer will produce more, supply will shift to the right hand side. And if profit margins fall, then supply will shift to the left hand side. So these are the main causes of shift in aggregate supply curve. Next is aggregate demand curve we can derive with the help of aggregate expenditure line. This also we have discussed earlier, and you know that aggregate supply line is always 45-degree line. This aggregate supply line is known as aggregate expenditure line, which is always 45-degree line, which shows positive, direct, and proportionate relationship between aggregate expenditure and real GDP. And aggregate demand curve can never start from origin because demand can never be zero. So aggregate demand or aggregate expenditure line will always start from the y-axis, not from the origin. So where aggregate expenditure line and 45-degree line, where both curve intersect each other, equilibrium point is determined. And if there is any shift in aggregate expenditure line, it may be shift to the upward or downward, then equilibrium point will also change and the level of income will also change. And if we take these two equilibrium points on the another curve, then we can show the shift in AD curve with the help of aggregate expenditure line. Here we will get two equilibrium points, and if we assume that price remains constant, then we can draw at first equilibrium point one aggregate demand curve or initial aggregate demand curve, and on another equilibrium point E dash, this demand curve is showing that we are demand is increase. So if demand increases, then curve will shift to the right hand side. So this is the shift in aggregate demand curve or rightward shift in aggregate demand curve, which is showing increase in aggregate demand, but it will shift due to change in aggregate expenditure increase. If we are spending more money on goods and services, then our demand will also rise, but price will remain constant. Next is SRAS curve. We have discussed about this. If SRAS curve may be shift to the right hand side or left hand side. Next is this is the three shape of indifferent shape of LRAS curve, SRAS curve, or supply curve. SRAS curve may be horizontal, may be vertical, or may be upward sloping curve. According to Keynesian approach, in very short period, SRAS curve will be horizontal line. Generally, SRAS curve is upward sloping curve. And according to classical approach, long run aggregate supply curve will always be a vertical line, because in long run prices are more flexible in nature, but in very short run period prices are more sticky in nature. But in generally we can show direct and positive relationship between price and supply, so supply curve will be upward sloping curve. Now next is in long run aggregate supply is vertical, and how equilibrium point we can achieve. Equilibrium point can be achieved where aggregate demand curve, which is always downward sloping curve, and aggregate supply curve, which is always upward sloping curve, LRAS is always vertical shape curve, where LRAS curve intersects AD curve. Equilibrium point will be determined. At this equilibrium point, price will be P1 and income will be Y1. And here, in short run aggregate supply curve, first of all, we will draw LRAS curve, then aggregate demand curve and SRAS curve. 1. Here is the equilibrium point, price is P1 and income is Y1. And if aggregate supply, short run aggregate supply curve shifts to the left hand side, then SRS2 and AD, where both curve intersect each other, new equilibrium point will be determined. At this equilibrium point, price will rise and income or output level will fall. Next is, this is the shift in LRAS curve. LRAS curve may be shift to the right hand side or left hand side. Same as SRAS curve can also shift to the right hand side or left hand side, and AD curve can be shift to the right hand side or left hand side. And we can show different equilibrium level of price and different equilibrium level of income with the help of this shift in aggregate demand and aggregate supply curve. It is a dynamic aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. Here, aggregate supply LRAS1 is initial long run supply curve, and aggregate demand 1 is first or initial aggregate demand, and SRS1 is also first or initial aggregate supply curve. Where all these three curves intersect each other, equilibrium point A is determined and price level is determined 100. If all these curves shifts to the right hand side or show increase in all these curves, then LRAS curve will shift to the right hand side, same as SRAS curve will shift to the right hand side by the same proportion, and AD curve will also shift to the right hand side by the same proportion. Then what will happen? In this situation, if all these curve shifts to the right hand side and by the same proportion, in this situation, price will remain constant, only output level or real GDP will rise. And here equilibrium point shifts from A to B, but price remains 100, same, but output level will increase from $1,000 to $1,030. So this is the dynamic model of aggregate demand and supply. Next is expansionary and contractionary fiscal policy. You know that fiscal policy may be expansionary and may be contractionary. If government expenditure increases, then it will be called expansionary fiscal policy. Taxes must be decreased and transfer payments must increase. In this situation, AD curve will shift to the right hand side, and new equilibrium point will be shift from E to E dash, and price will rise and income will also rise. Next is shift caused by an increase in government purchases. If government purchases increases, then aggregate demand curve will shift to the right hand side, and at this point here we are taking only SRAS curve and AD curve. Here First equilibrium point is this, and price level is P1, income level is Y1. If AD shifts due to increase in government purchases or government expenditure, then price and income both will rise. Next is this is the shift in aggregate supply curve, shift caused by increase in nominal wage in the long run. Here, same as AD curve is downward sloping curve, LRAS curve is vertical, SRAS curve is first or initial supply curve. If supply curve shifts to the left hand side, then we can show uh, inflationary gap. Inflationary gap is a situation when price rises. If potential GDP is less and actual GDP is more, then inflationary gap will occur. And if potential GDP is more and actual GDP is less, then recessionary gap will arise. So, in today's session, we have and money demand money market curve. We can derive aggregate demand curve with the help of money market equilibrium. This is money supply curve vertical, money demand is downward slope. In case of monetary policy or in case of fiscal policy, both are responsible for aggregate demand shocks, and both are responsible for shocks which exist in aggregate demand and aggregate supply. So in today's session, we have discussed about aggregate demand, aggregate supply, and shift in equilibrium level of income and output to change in fiscal and monetary policy. Thank you.